Hey guys, Jacob here. Welcome back to Mystery Arts Inc. So there's one particular effect on the market, multiple effects at this point actually, because it's really prolifically kind of created this aura around it of people just wanting to see what they can do to expand it, to change it, to make it better, worse. You know, your opinion is your opinion, my opinion is mine, and that's kind of what I'm giving today. And in general, this is just a quick video on Proteus. Probably not very quick because I'm actually also going to go into a little bit of theory on how I began using Propless and what you can do in Propless Mentalism to, one, always ensure success in some way, and two, so that you can essentially always have some kind of thing to fall back on, always have a safety net. So we're going to cover kind of 5 main details while we're watching this video. We're going to cover why Propless is not the final answer and why it's generally not what people expect because they think it's something else that's not intended to be. Why Propless is a lot like performing hypnosis, and why compliance, confidence, and creating comfort is key. We're going to talk about Proteus versus Fraser Parker's approach versus Michael Murray's thinking in it, and why I think each of them have amazing elements that can be blended together to create something new as a whole. I'm not going to go too in-depth in that. I'm going to make a video eventually for the private group talking about my thoughts on that, but I'm not going to give too much away here. I'm just going to hint some of the main scripting elements and things between the three that make a cohesive whole, and why you should probably have all three kind of elements that are out right now about this. And you should definitely keep paying attention to the forum or Facebook group as well, so that way you can see what other people are doing to make this really, really crazy powerful and effective. So the fourth thing is going to be, once again, more in scripting elements. And the fifth thing is going to be about flying with a net, and I'll talk about that as well. There might be a video of that as well, me working Proteus with a safety net, and I can show you how I do that and how I go out and build the confidence to do it properly, despite the fact that I've done it a maximum of 2 times now. That's it. But that being said, I'm not coming here as an expert or anything. I'm just coming here telling you what worked for me. So let's dive right into it. Propless is not always the final answer in most elements of performance. Propless is meant for those moments when you doesn't matter, your paycheck's not on the line, maybe you just want to do something special, maybe you just don't have anything with you and you want to do something and you're just comfortable enough to do it. Propless is not something personally I use per se in paid shows. My market I'm mostly working, when I do work, is corporate. I'm not your heavy worker. I don't have 5 or 6 gigs a week. I don't have corporate clients at the wazoo. I've done things for companies like Haibu. I did TEDx Columbus. I've done some power companies local here, some corporate galas, things like that, and networking meetups. Things where really, I was just the entertainment to come in and close the evening and capture their message. And so that way everyone can remember it easily. So don't take me as an expert. I'm not coming here as that. I'm just coming here with some thoughts for you all to ruminate on. So with Propless not being the final answer, I'll kind of sum it up in this. If there's a chance of failure is not a big deal. Even in a paid show or table hopping, failure is not a big deal. Now it's when I'm on stage and I have to have everything work. That's when I pretty much resort to my show's almost completely self-working. And I'm always adding elements, taking elements away, but you understand what I'm saying. Point 2, Propless mentalism is a lot like performing hypnosis. For those of you that have dabbled in such things, hypnosis, is all kind of personality, confidence, getting social compliance to an extent, even though I don't think social compliance is the final means to an ends for the answer of why it works. It is at the same time highly useful in this. So just like how True Mystery still used elements of hypnosis, but getting social compliance, things like that in it, Propless is the same way in my eyes. I don't understand what people kind of expect out of Propless, that they can just say some magic words and it happens. Well, you still have to get the interest, the desire. I'm sure I'm not giving away too much on this when I say this, but my dear friend Doc Hilford taught me some valuable tools, and it's AIDA. You need to capture your audience's attention. There's a lot of things out there. We have short attention spans. They need to capture their attention. You need to get their interest and get them interested in what you're doing. You have to form a desire for them to see more, or else what's the point? Then finally, you have to get them to take action. And action is your effect, is your demonstration, is their reaction that they're going to give. So think of it that way. If you can do hypnosis kind of material, which actually is a great work-in and lead-up for a lot of Propless material, since most of it is Propless by nature. A great footstick in this really shows and gives credibility to what you do, or a magnetic fingers, or a arm lock, or whatever you're going to do really adds a lot of credibility to what you do without really doing much effort. So we got to their third point here. We're going to look at Proteus versus Fraser's Propless drawing duplication versus, well, kind of versus, Michael Murray's additional touches to Proteus. And I'll also tie in here some of the touches from our dear friend Titanus. My Titanus, hope you're seeing this. Hope Fraser's seeing this. Hope Michael's seeing this. Hope Phedon's seeing this. I love you guys. You're just, it's like the circle of just really good friends got together and produced something amazing. Which is why I think that it's kind of protected the way it is, because there has been some controversy on it, and I think it's kind of put in the wrong place. So Proteus itself, as a centralized method, is original method, as written in the book, phenomenal. It works. It's a worker as long as you have the mentality of Propless, where you're approaching like a hypnosis kind of context, in my opinion, where you're getting social compliance, you're getting that attention, interest, desire, getting them to take action on it, and you're really gathering all you need to make it successful. And you've got the script down to make it successful. Personally, I don't feel like I've got the script down to make it perfectly successful yet. So my success rate's been mixed. And that's an important thing to understand. I don't have the anagram fully memorized, so I've mostly been using Fraser's approach because you don't really need an anagram. But the anagram's there and nice to have, even if you are just doing pure, the Fraser Parker Propless drawing duplication, because what happens if you say X and it's not? You have another chance to say, well, this also goes into Michael's as well, how he frames it. His framing is important, how he takes you from the word to the drawing, and apparently trying to find an experiment to see if they're a creative versus analytical thinker. Brilliant, Michael. Really, really brilliant. Some of you watching us don't know Proteus are just like, what's he talking about? But if you're an owner, you're going to understand. If you're not, you're not. Don't worry. We're not giving much away here, folks. So that being said, I love that element of it. So you have the anagram is almost a extra supporting factor if you need it. And you can try it with Fraser's thing initially. Now that's one safety net you can have in, but still we want to save. I think I always want a safety net behind the actual safety net. So we'll have a triple safety net, a Propless, kind of Propless, but traditional safety net that we'll get into at the end. So essentially there's no one is better than the other. They're all three need to fit seamlessly together. For example, how I intend to use this coming up is going to be using Fraser's initial kind of questioning he does, which is brilliant. It's not even a question. It's more of like a subtlety that you're finding information out while something else completely is going on, and then dismissing it, and it just amps up the reaction more, which really makes me smile. The Murray scripting is great, but there's also, I think you need to combine elements of Murray script and Phedon script. There's a very important principle of restriction that I think people are missing in this, and that might be why they're having ill success. You can find this piece of scripting in Proteus, which is the only one I've seen that has it. So it's important that I think you should have all of these to really make this a super effective tool. So you're going to walk out with just under $100 on everything, but you're getting a tool that can do a lot more, and I'm going to give you some too because I'm going to be a part of the group. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on how to do it with a net as well to get more comfortable working without a net. So, and how you can bring a net in even without apparently needing a net. It's weird. I'll explain it here in a moment. But whole thing, I think if you take the elements of this X drawing, X drawing is less than, their drawing is greater than other drawing in the book. That part right there for those of you in Proteus. Go back and reread that because that's a really, really important thing I think people have overlooked because it adds an extra restrictive nature without appearing to be restrictive, but it locks their mind into a box of selection a little bit more. It's really interesting. So I think some of you that own one or two of these works or whatever, or Proteus in general, they're having some ill success, go back and look at that, because that really will improve your odds first off. Also, I would always say learn as many different of the outs as possible. Michael's has 27 outs. Fraser's has about, I think it's 12, but there could be more as well, because once again, you have extra elements you can throw in. Original Proteus just has 17, but once again, Phedon is given an extended out section as well. The original one's 17, I believe, for Proteus. I think I'm right there. But the 27 are good to know because you never know. For example, I did this on Robert Watkins over Skype earlier. Bear in mind, he's seen Fraser's handling of the effect. It's never been done on him. But he went for a very out there thing. And I realized, if I look back at my scripting, I realized something very important about it. And I will go into that on thoughts on the Proteus group whenever I make that video. And hopefully I can record that today with a friend coming over to perform it for him, and then we can see, analyze that. Because that's the easiest way to do it. Because talking to a screen is one thing, but showing you directly is another. So, bare necessities here. Proteus, Fraser, and Murray's touches, get them all. They're worth it. Plus you're supporting great people that are really just like a family in mentalism. Point 4, let's talk about important script elements. So once again, I kind of touched on this in the last little rant rave about Proteus, Fraser, and Murray's kind of thoughts and supplements. I think that a lot of people are missing out on the scripting, and that's why it's not working. But scripting also goes with confidence. And really, when you deliver the script with confidence and in a way that can create social compliance, as well as create comfort, you're going to have a lot more success, because then you've got them kind of in that mode where they're not thinking, why anymore? That's what you want. And I know quite a bit about this because Doc Hilford does a lot of this kind of work. He's literally like the man for social compliance. But if you're a hypnotist, you must know what it is, because you have to have people, do things that are outside of the norm, that basically utilize this hypnotic kind of means. So use that kind of skill set if you already have as a hypnotist. If you don't, go out and learn some. So once again, I'll say this for probably the third or fourth time. Elements of hypnosis work great in Fraser. Propless work, because you can just instantly get that kind of compliance you need by showing them something amazing that's simple and effective, and then moving into something like this that might be chancy. So you still have a story to tell one way or the other. And I would also always recommend opening with a surefire effect, which I usually do. I actually use the heirloom variation taught by Mark Elston in his lecture, but I use actual playing cards in my wallet. And I have a nice subtlety with that someday maybe I'll give out, but it's cool. So that it makes it so there's only one card in the wallet, and it's really nice. Well, to the audience's mind, there's only, don't tell. So, if you deliver the script exactly for the most part, or, obviously in your own words, but there are certain elements of script that are needed. Once again, that X drawing is less than their drawing and that X drawing is more than their drawing. Once again, look for that diagram in the book. I wish I knew what page it was on. I would totally, I'll make it appear as annotation here. It'll be on this page. So look at that page and read that script again. So that kind of solves that. I can just show you here, and I don't know while I'm recording. So prepared. So that being said, when delivering the scripting elements, make sure you're getting social compliance. If you want some great scripts on this, it's an expensive product, and it's worth it if you want to go out and do this stuff. You want to make contact mind reading succeed more, which I'm particularly not good at, but I don't put the work into it like I should. So I'll be all open there. But if you utilize the scripting that Doc Hilford has in his Instant Obedience course, that kind of works great. Look into Michael's scripting. He has lots of elements of it there, setting up that, this is kind of dependent on you as well, putting a little bit of that pressure on them, which is really important for success. It has to be a team-based activity. If it's one person working against another person and you're trying to be this guy that's killing the skeptics, you're going to lose what the point is anyway, and you're just going to kind of look like a little bit of a douche. So bear that in mind. Work together with your audience. Don't work against them, and get that compliance needed. Deliver the script confidently. Don't stutter on your words. Don't stumble. Make it sound fluid, completely flowing. Try and cut all of your ums, uhs. Talking to a camera like this, I can live with it to an extent. But you'll notice that I pause a lot. that is to collect my words and make sure I don't go, So remember that when you're scripting and delivering scripting confidently. And also make sure you're just a warm personality. Don't sound like a machine delivering off a code that obviously isn't pre-programmed into your head. I want you to think of a drawing, a simple drawing, something like a heart or a star, but please come up with your own. No, you must kind of deliver it in a way, hey, what I want you to do here is I want you to think back, deliver, blah, 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 blah. Do it in a really kind of relaxed, your personality, your character way. Even if that's not your original voice, or if it is, but bear that in mind and deliver it that way. And I promise that delivery will help you a lot there as well. 5, always fly with a net. At least not always, but initially fly with a net. Let me give you an example. So let's say, for example, we as mentalists, magicians, whatever, had somebody walk up to us and he said, hey, take this business card, draw something on it. We folded it up, we put it on the table. They didn't touch it at all, period. Like no psychological stuff. They didn't touch it at all, and they revealed the drawing. Wow, incredible. Same thing to a layperson. And it doesn't seem too impossible because you have drawn it. So their mind will go to certain areas, but they won't be able to solidify it because you can honestly say you didn't see the drawing, which is lovely. But should you be going through your whatever approach to Proteus you're going through, or Propless effect, or this, that, or the other, maybe it's a name divination. Maybe it's one of the psychological playing card forces. You can do that as well. I used to practice psychological playing card forces by laying down the card I'm going for, and then if it was wrong, adjusting accordingly. That should tell people to know what I'm talking about. So you see, it's really not that hard to practice this stuff and always have a net. And it's just unbelievable still, even if they do this, that, or the other. And I think this is an important element I'll talk about on my video for the Proteus Facebook group. There's something about having to draw it that actually makes it much easier. And I'll talk about that later on. But that being said, learn to fly with a net. If you're going to do a Built-less name guess, Proteus, any of the above, just hand them a piece of card that you know you can do a myriad of other methods with later on. Do it on an imp device and have just put it on the table. Whatever. Have it there just in case you always have a climax. Because the worst thing that's going to happen is you say, and the object, it's the sun. No. Wait. Concentrate. Let me go for the other thought I had. Pick the thing up. Done. Ta-da. You're good. You're golden. You're absolutely golden. You're in the same position you would have been anyway, but you've actually made the process look realistic and real, which I think is incredible. So, all this being said, make sure you fly with a net. Another helpful hint here, that is how I'm kind of utilizing this. One-aheads work really well for this flying with a net as well. Phenomenal what you can do with just something as simple as a one-ahead or a delayed read or something like that, or mind read. I'm speaking a little bit in code, but it doesn't matter. People are going to understand anyway. Once again, not giving too much away, but fly with a net for a while when you're learning Propless work, because it will really benefit. And another thing, for those of you, I have not seen the Banachek pocket writing stuff yet, but I went to the lecture and experienced it live, obviously, and as my friend Steve did as well. Hi, Steve. He was the one helping up there with the numbers effect. If you learn pocket writing, or always have a sticky notepad in your pocket set with everything you need, you're always golden on any Propless effects. You always have a universal out there. So once again, look at that. Another thing I should mention is Peter Turner's Broken Heart Out, which works phenomenally with sticky notepads as well, I should also point out. You should definitely utilize one of those kind of ideas to just have it just in case, the inevitable happens. So, that's it. Fly with a net. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully these 5 points have really kind of given you something to think about. I really try not to give too much away. I don't think that any muggles, for example, watch, but for those of you that give a shit, I don't personally. For those of you that really care, though, I don't think any muggles that happen to tune into this video are going to find anything extraordinary. I don't think I've given anything away about effects themselves, what really makes them remarkable. Especially not as much as other people have on forum sites, Facebook, blah, 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 blah. So I think we're safe on this. And so you know, I'm passing this by the creators before I post it, so that way they say, okay, yeah, you haven't given anything away that compromises the product as well. So, all that being said, thanks for watching again. Use these 5 steps. Remember, Propless is not a final answer to all moments of performance. It can be used for close-up table hopping, that kind of stuff. It can be used for stage. I use the anagram in my stage show, Peter Turner's. Works great. But it's not an ends to a means, but I don't have any intention of making a fully Propless show. Propless is a lot like more hypnosis once again. Get that social compliance, that confidence, creating comfort, and make sure you're using AIDA. That's attention, interest, desire, and attention, attention, interest, desire, and action. Utilize those kind of 4 letters and words to really take your audience to the next level on your Propless work. Number 3, of course, once again, Proteus versus Fraser's Propless drawing duplication versus Michael Murray's supplements. 2 Proteus, all of them are gold their own way. Just do have a hunt. You'll pay maybe, I think, $95 or $90, and you'll get everything. You'll love it. It'll be great. Trust me. It's the way to go. 4, once again, always remember those important scripting elements. I know you're getting tired of me recanting this, but once again, deliver with confidence. Find that key element, that kind of equation I mentioned earlier on the page that's right here. And make sure that you're delivering confidently, creating comfort, and getting some good social compliance beforehand. Try using a pseudo-hypnosis or real hypnosis effect to start or introduce your Propless or whatever effect you're doing. Always 5, remember, once again, fly with a net initially. And I recommend you fly with a net later on. Why not? Who's going to know? It's your show. But it's just that much more incredible if you hit it dead on 100% of the time. But you do it with the net, maybe, but you'll probably find you'll get like a 7. When you get to the point where you're getting like a 95, 5%, you're only using that net 5% of the time, that's when you can go out and be a little more adventurous and be kind of buck wild like Fraser and Pete and those guys are, because they really do go out and do it. It's crazy. Go out filming with them sometime. Trust me, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you next time for another video. We're getting at about just under 25 minutes here. So once again, thanks for tuning in. Please do subscribe. It definitely helps out. And enjoy this nice little exit video of me looking quaint. See you next time. Hey guys, Jacob here. Thanks again for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, there's a lot more to come. Interviews, product reviews, who knows what else, probably random rants by yours truly, and kind of things that you're just going to enjoy, really. Thank you again. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can do that actually by clicking here. I'd appreciate it. If you want to see the latest video, you can see that one here. It's really good. I'll see you next time, and thanks again for tuning in to Mystery Arts Inc.